What is up, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the somewhat disastrous launch of the highly anticipated ALP 4K from atgames, and something that nobody else seems to be talking about. Let's get into it. All right, so first things first, let's go back and just kind of cover some of the issues that people have been talking about on social media and on YouTube since this thing was announced. So initially, atgames made a post. They had like a pre-production picture and some preliminary specs. It got people pretty intrigued, myself included. They then announced that they were partnering with Zen Studios, which admittedly is something that took me by surprise. And then they showed off their first themed licensed cabinet, which was the Addams Family cabinet. Now, I've played the FX version of the Addams Family. It's an amazing real world table. The FX version, it's okay. It's not bad. It's definitely not the real thing. Apparently this version was going to be tailor-made for the ALP, so you couldn't actually do tournaments with people with that version on the Switch or on the Steam Deck or PlayStation, anything like that. It was just going to be basically leaderboards only with people on the atgames platform. So they put up pre-orders, and people that put down a $200 non-refundable deposit, you could get a substantial savings than if you waited till after this window that they had provided. Now, here's something to think about. The first ALP HD, the version that I used to own, that was put up for pre-order with a $20 non-refundable deposit. Now this new one is a $200 non-refundable deposit. Now keep in mind that you could secure a Ford Bronco at a lot of Ford dealerships, in my area at least, for a $100 refundable deposit. That's on a $60,000 Ford Bronco. And yet this $1,500 virtual pinball machine was a $200 non-refundable deposit.
Oh, when you say it that way, it sounds ridiculous.
So this is where they started running into issues. So they started to roll out more of these themed licensed cabinets. They then did a Peanuts one, and I think there was a natural history one, and then they did the Star Trek. And maybe people really, they like Addams Family, but maybe Star Trek was more their favorite table, and they just didn't think they were going to do that one. Well, atgames wasn't allowing you to cancel your pre-order on the other one, even though it hasn't shipped and you don't even have a ship date. They weren't going to allow you to just cancel that and then switch it to the Star Trek, which I think is kind of shitty in my opinion. It can't be that hard to do. And I think, again, you're still making a sale. What is the big deal? Then they announced the Attack from Mars, and then things really got out of hand. People were like, oh my God, had I known that, I think a lot of people at that point were kind of pissed, and rightly so. Now, as this launch is getting closer and closer, people weren't receiving emails. There's a lot of videos of people talking about this, a lot of stuff in the forums. People were trying to fill out a ticket just to find out, where do I stand in the pecking order of getting my machine? I'm not getting any information at all. So then, fast forward, some of the influencers started getting their machines. So Wagner's Tech Talk, he got his machine, and he started pointing out that there was some issues with lag, with flipper lag. He did some measurements on it. Go check out that video if this is something that concerns you. A lot of people then started to pump out videos and talk about this lag issue, and it is a big deal. It never should have made it to people's porches with this issue. But there were also issues on top of that with sound issues. Again, with sound issues. This time the solenoids are too loud. So before, it was exciters, and it was just this buzzing, and it's horrible. That's a whole nother thing. But now we've got solenoid problems. It's so loud that people were turning them off, which I can't believe that they would be that bad they would turn them off. If that's what they said, then I'll believe it. And then there was damage. Now, damage is something that can happen to a lot of people. It's not, I'm sure, probably atgames' fault. Other people have not complained about the packaging being bad. This probably goes back to whoever, whether it was FedEx or whatever. But again, with the damage comes atgames not responding to tickets, or people being hesitant about it because they know of the headache, and now they got to stare at this damage, this dent in their cabinet, and I paid $1,500 for it. But getting back to the lag, okay, this is a problem, and every YouTuber, every person in the comments section is saying, we need an update, we need a patch, we need to fix this. And yes, absolutely, this should be done right now. They should be working on it as we speak, rolling this out, because these things, again, are winding up on people's porches every day right now and moving forward. But here's the thing that nobody's mentioning, and something that every time I hear people say, we need an update, we need an update, we need a patch, I ask myself, how many of these people have owned an AdGames product before? And how many of those people, if they have, remember the history of AdGames and their updates? I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
It took them nearly 2 years to get their updates under control. I remember when I had my original ALP HD, they would pump out an update like every 2 weeks, sometimes even less, and it was just constant.
Updates are ready. I should update.
And I'm one of the stupid ones too. I waited way too long to stop updating. I mean, they put out an update, it's gotta fix something, right? So you do the update and then you realize, oh crap, now it sounds different, or I'm having login issues, or it messes up coin ops. It was always something. One update would fix one thing, but it would mess up 1, 2, 3, 4 problems. So you then go to Facebook and the forums, and it would just be loaded with people complaining. So I finally learned my lesson. It had been over a year since I had done an update. I think I was like 4 or 5 behind what they currently were. Every time I turned my machine on, it would tell me, we're on this build or firmware, and you're on this, you need to do an update. And I'm like, no, I don't. I really, really don't.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
What's gonna happen as these updates start coming out, and I guarantee you they will come out very soon. There is a very high percentage of when this update comes out that it is going to introduce some sort of problem with something else, whether it's the stock tables, whether it's the sound, whether it's logins, whether it's VPX issues, something is going to happen. And again, as in the past, it could take a long time. Every time they do that, it just seems like AdGames is not testing these updates. You know, when I get an update on my Samsung phone, as soon as I see that, I click the button. I trust them 100%. With AdGames, I don't think so. So that's why I say be careful what you wish for, because it could take them a while to get things lined out with these updates. Now, if you're just gonna be playing OTG and running VPX through a PC, I think you just unbox this thing, you set all that up, you don't ever touch any updates. But if you're playing the stock tables, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you obviously want to fix lag or any other issues. Again, maybe they're login issues, or maybe they are issues with the solenoids. So doing an update seems like, okay, this is a good thing, right? We're talking about AdGames here. I mean, this thing looks really good. They have fixed a lot of the problems that I personally had with the design of the old machine. But again, we're talking about AdGames, and sometimes they get things right, but a lot of times they get things wrong. And I could be wrong, and I hope I am. I really do, sincerely. I used to own one of their products. I didn't sell it because I hated it. I just kind of grew out of it, and I wanted something better. Not the 4K ALP, I wanted something bigger and better, something more what I would call premium. I do not call the ALP 4K premium. It is still entry level. It is a better entry level machine than I guess anyone is putting out there for the price, but I don't call it premium, and that's kind of what I wanted. But I'm not a hater, and I don't wanna be the guy that says, I told you so. Trust me, I don't. But I just want people to beware. Again, be careful what you wish for here, because you're gonna get some updates. But before you do that update, if you haven't already, join a forum for the ALP or for AdGames or whatever, and ask people before you do that, is this something I should do? Have you noticed any issues at all? Whether those issues are with the stock tables, whether it's sound or login or OTG. I personally would not want to be the guinea pig that downloads that update for the first time. I mean, let somebody else do that. I don't want to do that. It's a $1,500 machine. So just be careful. That's all I have to say. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think of the ALP 4K. Are you one of the people that are waiting for yours? Have you already gotten one? Have you done an update? Are you experiencing any of the issues that I mentioned in this video? Please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed the video or you learned something, make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out and turn that notification bell so you know when I upload videos like this one. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.